Elon Musk and SpaceX Axiom just humiliate Russia's space chief. Hello everybody and welcome to your favorite and most interesting channel, TechZen. Let's get started with our video. Business Insider is a publication that publishes articles on a wide variety of topics. It's time to let the American broomstick fly, Elon Musk's SpaceX declares during the launch of the Starlink spaceship, in which he criticizes Russia. Russian space leader Dmitry Rogozin was made fun of by the company's launch director during the launch of a SpaceX satellite. It was after getting an insult from Dmitry Rogozin that he made the statement, "It is past time for the American broomstick to take to the air." Russia put a halt on rocket shipments to the United States last week, citing national security concerns. Broomsticks, according to Rogozin, might be used by the United States to fly. When SpaceX launched the Starlink satellite on Wednesday, the company made light of Russia's alleged interference in the election. When it was time to let the American broomstick fly and hear the sounds of freedom, the company's launch director stated on the company's livestream moments before the Falcon 9 rocket launched 48 satellites into orbit from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. According to the unidentified launch director, the statement was intended to be seen as a jab at Dmitry Rogozin, the head of the Russian space agency Roscosmos. According to Rogozin, Russia would no longer supply rocket engines to the United States as a result of sanctions imposed by President Joe Biden against the country over the conflict in Ukraine. Speaking on state television, Rogozin stated that under the current circumstances, we will be unable to provide the United States with our world-class rocket engines. They should be able to do something other than broomsticks to soar through the air. I'm stumped as to what it is. In this satellite launch, the company has completed its 9th weekly launch in a row, making it the company with the longest such run in the industry. Since its founding in 2002, SpaceX has successfully launched more than 2,000 satellites into orbit. As detailed on the company's website, Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, aims to build a constellation of more than 42,000 Starlink satellites as part of his mission to offer low-cost internet to rural areas throughout the world. According to SpaceX, following a successful launch on Wednesday, the first stage of the rocket returned to Earth and performed a water landing on a drone ship owned and controlled by the corporation. In the past, the corporation has poked fun at Rogozin's political views, and this is not the first time it has done so in the future. Last week, Musk responded to a video on Twitter showing his company deploying 47 satellites into space with a screenshot of Rogozin's statements highlighted, as well as the phrases American broomstick and 4 American flags. In addition to their verbal sparring on social media, the billionaires' aim to build the Starlink internet service in Ukraine has been a point of dispute between him and Rogozin. Because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the country's space chief has been increasingly hostile on social media platforms such as Twitter and Facebook. Consider the following exchange between Rogozin and retired NASA astronaut Scott Kelly on Twitter. Kelly advised that Rogozin look for work at McDonald's, to which Rogozin reacted by offering Kelly the option to submit to a neurological examination. Because of Rogozin's adversarial behavior on the internet, it is possible that relations and collaboration in space between the United States and Russia will come to an end in the not-too-distant future. Sergei Krikalev, the head of Russia's space agency, has expressed concern that the country's partnership with NASA, which is reliant on Russian propulsion to maintain its regular orbit around the Earth, may be jeopardized by the country's tense relationship with Western nations. The International Space Station, which is reliant on Russian propulsion to maintain its regular orbit around the Earth, is also concerned. The SpaceX logo that Musk has posted in response to Rogozin's message on Twitter suggests that his business may be able to step in and preserve the International Space Station. Although the SpaceX Dragon is not designed to be a long-term solution in and of itself, there has been a great deal of conjecture regarding whether or not the firm will be able to assist in filling the gap through the use of the spaceship. Between now and then, both Roscosmos and NASA have declared that they want to continue their collaboration despite Rogozin's statements regarding the project on the internet in the interim. The international space community was taken aback by Russia's successful anti-satellite missile test, which resulted in the destruction of a decommissioned Russian spacecraft and the creation of more than 1,500 trackable pieces of space debris. The international space community expressed its displeasure with the Russian government in a statement. As a result of the rash choice, the astronauts on board the International Space Station were compelled to seek shelter immediately. When you're stranded on an unstable space station, having satellite pieces flying around the Earth at speeds of more than 17,000 miles per hour is exceedingly perilous, as they were in this case. The outpouring of public displeasure was fast and unequivocal in its expression. The United States criticized the behavior as irresponsible behavior, and that will not be accepted, according to a statement. NASA was taken completely by surprise by the news. An increasing number of space firms have expressed their opposition to the test in public statements, including Axiom Space, which is now in negotiations with NASA to build a new space station, among others. Although Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, has been noticeably absent from the discussion, which is surprising given that he stands to earn much from low Earth orbit while simultaneously standing to lose substantially more. This is especially unexpected in light of the fact that Musk is one of the most outspoken CEOs currently in existence, as previously stated. In practicality, every topic on social media, from meme lording to denouncing politicians to debating with the Securities and Exchange Commission to crowdsourcing a decision on whether or not to sell his Tesla stock, he is participating. While the issue has yet to be addressed in the public arena, Tesla's CEO Elon Musk did not react to a request for a comment sent to him by Futurism. It is important to remember that Russian satellites' debris could represent a threat to SpaceX's capacity to survive in orbit, and this is something to keep in mind. Real-life examples include a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft that is presently connected to the International Space Station through a communications link. In addition, SpaceX's Starlink satellite constellation, which is now in the early phases of building, should be mentioned. It is traveling around the world at a speed ranging between 275 and 323 miles per hour, and it is still in the process of forming cloud fragments. The distance between the surface of the Earth and the orbiting satellites of the space firm is a total of 341 miles, which is a relatively short distance by space traveling standards. Low Earth orbit has been increasingly crowded in recent years as a result of the deployment of various satellite constellations by a range of space corporations, resulting in increased competition for space. We already had debris in our planet's orbit in the months before Russia launched its missile, including insulation shards, rocket stages, and defunct satellites, which had accumulated in the months before Russia launched its missile. A further point to emphasize is that Russia is not the first country to have sent satellites into orbit and detonated nuclear weapons on board those satellites. Earlier this year, India conducted a nuclear test that was essentially identical to the previous one, a decision that was widely criticized at the time. Furthermore, while many of these bits of satellite trash are likely to fall back to Earth and burn up in the atmosphere, NASA estimates that many more will linger in orbit, posing a very real threat to humanity's ability to continue to live in space in the future. Given Elon Musk's contentious relationship with the Russian space agency, it's reasonable to think that this week's revelation would have incited retaliation on the part of the billionaire tech entrepreneur. Musk, on the other hand, has kept deafeningly quiet for several days following the test results publication. To keep himself amused in the meantime, the president has taken to Twitter this week where he has attacked Senator Bernie Sanders and complained about taxes, among other things. Thanks for watching this video. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already.